Today on episode number 479 of the School of Podcasting's morning announcements, I'm going to give you a couple quick takeaways from Podcast MidAtlantic. We're going to talk about, I know I said this last week, how what we can learn from Johnny Manziel, the football player, and podcasting. I have found the source of the 8-week myth. You know, that whole thing about new and noteworthy. I found out where it came from, and I'll tell you again, remind you the truth of that. And I found a source for legal podcast music, and I'm going to play you a couple snippets of it, actually quite a more snippets, and let you know if it's worth the $37. Hit it, ladies.
The School of Podcasting with Dave Jackson.
Podcasting since 2005. I am your very own personal podcast coach, Dave Jackson. Thanking you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the show, I have been helping people understand technology for over 20 years. And what we do on this show is we talk about all things podcasting. I help you massage your message. I help you tackle that technology. I help you flatten the learning curve. And I get you on the road to pain-free podcasting so you can get out there and start changing the world. We're going to talk about that today. Changing the world. Our website, before I get to that, is schoolofpodcasting.com. Use the coupon code LISTENER when you sign up and save on your fee. So I was at Podcast MidAtlantic. I was doing the closing keynote. And it was really cool because there have been so many good speakers. And when Jeff Bradbury from teachercast.net did his, I mean, the guy brought up pictures of his triplets. How do you compete with that? And I was like, oh, you better step up your game, Jackson. And I felt I did. I also got to meet Scott Swanson, and Anthony Minaya was very cool. Very young entrepreneur guy, just crushing it. Scott Swanson from the Muppetcast. And of course, Kathy Kelly was there from Special Mouse, member of the School of Podcasting, and a bunch of other folks. And it was an intimate gathering, and Joe Pardo headed up the whole thing. A lot of fun. Joey Kissimmee was there from Appendipity Themes, and those guys are always coming up with new stuff. That's one of my favorite themes, Appendipity, and I'll have links to that out in the show notes at schoolofpodcasting.com/479. But one of the things that really hit home was, and we just keep hearing it over and over and over, how podcasting is changing people's lives and how you can impact people. Scott shared a story about a young junior high kid that loves the Muppets to the point where he's getting beat up at school because he's such a Muppet freak. And he wrote a letter to Scott. I got to get Scott on the show to give the story the depth it needs. But basically, when he heard Scott's show, it was like, you know, it's okay. It's okay that I like the Muppets. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was, if we could put quotes in the air, weird. And when they hear your show, they go, I'm not the only weird one. Because we're all a little weird. We all have the things that we know and like and love and cherish. And sometimes we feel like we're the only one, and we're not. And that, to me, people ask me, like, why am I so passionate about podcasting? Is it, you know, do I love just microphones and the technology? Yeah, sure. And I love the creativity. There's a lot of things at Podcast MidAtlantic about creativity. What I really love, what I'm really in business to do, is not teach people how to podcast. I mean, that's what the School of Podcasting does. My real job is to teach people how to change the world, how to impact the world in a way that benefits the world. That's what I really think my purpose is. And so I came away from Podcast MidAtlantic exhausted. It was a 7-hour trip there and a 7-hour trip back. And I should talk more about that. Remember, I always say you always pay for things in money or time. And I thought I was saving money by not flying, knowing it was going to take more time. By the time you add in gas and tolls, because apparently every 10 feet in Pennsylvania is worth like $1.50, it added up. So next year I will be flying to attend this event. It was a lot of fun. And thanks to Joe Pardo for believing in me to hit cleanup, be the last guy there. And thanks to everyone I met there. It It was great fun. Got to see Jess from She Podcasts and just a lot of really great people. Got a bunch of guests lined up from this gathering in New Jersey. So, but the funnest part was there's a clip on YouTube of Chris Rock talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And he says it's kind of ironic that Martin Luther King stood for nonviolence. And as he put it, he goes, I don't care where you are in America. If you're on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, there's some violence going down. And so one of the worst words you can hear then out of your GPS is turn right on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And I was like, uh-oh, in downtown Philly about 10:30. So I do, and almost immediately, these motorcycles go whizzing by me. 3 guys on motorcycles. 2 guys go up on the sidewalk with people kind of jumping out of the way, and they're like riding wheelies. It was, I was like, okay, I don't think these people need help in the courage department because this place is kind of scary. It was a great first impression. And so that was a lot of fun. And I was really honored to be there. Had a lot of great contacts and look forward to going back.
Yeah.
All right, one of the things I like to do is I talk about tackling the technology, meaning I'll go out and kick the tires on something before you do. And so I went out and I purchased from legalpodcastmusic.com. Now, if you want to check this out, they do have an affiliate program. So if you go to schoolofpodcasting.com/legalmusic, that's schoolofpodcasting.com/legalmusic, you get, according to their website, over 150 titles of 60-second music tracks that you can legally use in your audio products, video products, and online videos. And so you go in, they have 14 files that are zipped up by genre. So I'm going to go through a couple of these. Like right now, I unzipped country. So this one is called Kentucky Front Porch. Get your yeehaw on. Okay, at least it doesn't sound like it was done on a cheesy, let's go down to low down dirty shame. Oh, here we go. Deep in the heart of Texas. There was a man named Snake McGee, right? Who once shot a man for snoring. All right. See, this is not bad because one of my backgrounds is I'm a musician. We'll do one more. Lower 40 here. Just nice and clear. Okay, so I would definitely say country. Okay, well, let's make a little. I'm going to grab a pencil here. I'm going to make a column that says yes, and a column that says no. So I would say that particular genre works. This one is called High Energy. And there are, let's see here. If I can get a count on these 10 tracks here. Let's go Fiesta. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Suddenly I hear the ghost of Billy Ocean. Is Billy Ocean dead? I don't know, but that was all right. Power Broker. Ooh. I'm sorry. The roto drums. We'll try one more. Balloon Ride. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that one doesn't do it for me. A little too 1980s sounded. I get the feeling that was on the soundtrack of Beverly Hills Cop. This is the high tech category. Let's go Hustle and Bustle. Now here's a problem I'm going to run into. This is from a guy named Mike Stewart, and he used to have a website called $2 Themes where you would get 5 of these a month, I think it was. Let's go New Frontier. Okay. High tech. Gear teeth. Okay, it's episode of Seinfeld. Phaser. Okay, I'm gonna go okay with that one. Again, got a slight 80s slant here, and this is listening through the ears of somebody who's kind of asked my wife. I'm really picky about music. I will pick you to death because I know as a musician you're doing the same thing to me. Now the cool thing is there's a bunch of holiday music in here that's legal. It's legal to use it. So if we wanted to hear Silent Night. Okay, let's go. Oh, come all you faithful. See if there are going to be people singing on these. I would like these better if it didn't have voices, but. Okay, no thank you. Joy to the world. Okay. See, Mike has left a little crack here. When you listen to the song, it says $2 theme. So if you are a member of $2 themes, there's a really good chance you already have this stuff. Since God rest you married. Yeah, $2 themes. I see that there. Okay. Okay, usable stuff here. So I'm going to give that one a yes. Not a fan of the music singings, but okay. I think. Maybe not. Yeah, again, morning talk show. Welcome to... Okay, yeah, usable. I could hear that. Again, if you put some voiceover on this, the idea is we're not listening to this. This is background music. But that right there, see, to me, when I hear those drums, that just screams. Is it just me? Who uses that drum sound anymore? You know, okay. This is medium 2. Let's go, what's next? Or let's go, it's all right. Again, I can see this as welcome to the Jill and Margaret show, where they talk about cooking, being a busy mom, and whatever. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I don't hear anything that sounds completely fake. This is called Plucky. Okay. See, now that drum was okay. It was an actual drum. Yeah. This is making me wish I would have... Yeah. I'm going to go no on this one, on medium 2. Like, close. But I'm again, some of these sound a little dated. Not that I expect them to sound like, I don't know, Lady Gaga. I'll do a couple more of this. The Boys Are Home. This is miscellaneous. Okay. Again, it's miscellaneous. I can see this in sports. The Green Bay Packers on Lambeau Field tackle the tundra of frozen death. Yeah, okay. Hello, Black Tie and Tails. Welcome to All Right. Okay. That's a yes. That was okay. Public domain. These are things you can play, like the Battle Hymn of the Republic. This is stuff that's so old that Abraham Lincoln. failed 40 million times before being the president of the United States of America. You did, Okay, I would use that in something that was cool. Oh, I love this. For Elise. Right, here's the song that will make every man wet his pants. Yeah, okay, cool. Again, all these sound decent. Okay, so that's a yes. We got 5 yeses and 2 nos. So I would say most of these so far okay. We got a few more to go. This is one I listened to this earlier. This is a no. I'm just gonna pick one. Rock Your Socks Off. As somebody who grew up in the 80s, go get 'em. No. Okay, I would use that one. Let's try Riding the Waves. It's the bass for me on this. And the keyboards. And the roto drums. Yeah, okay, let's go Dirt Bike. Yeah, to me, that's too dated sounding. Not going to use. Now, could I find something in there to use? Yes. Probably one of those is okay. Slow Tracks number 1. Let's go Dark Jungle. I see I have this one already. Again, if you're new to this would be cool. But I can see this. I've used this in the past. Now, this is supposed to sound like the Doobie Brothers. Michael McDonald! Oh, yeah! I can't see. I see through my jaw. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, Angel Voices. Yep, that's Angel Voices. Falling Rain. Yeah, okay. I would call that usable. That's cool. Again, this is background music, the idea, or put some voiceover on this. Slow track number 2, because there were so many unanswered questions from slow track number 1. Let's try Cycling. Pretty. 2 notes that I really like. Then he was safe in the harbor. I would do this, right? Welcome to the Father Jim Show, where we inspire you to send us your money. All right, next up. Safe in the harbor. All right. Again. Can I handle the... Yeah, it's background music. The horn sounds a little cheesy. Father, I'm home. Right, all right. Slow tracks, I'll give that a yes. Again, it's background music. It's the idea of this stuff. It's not supposed to be, let's crack open a bottle of wine and listen to legal podcast music. This is soft acoustic. This is the Heartland. Now I know I have these. Yep. All right. Cloud Flight. Got one more. Okay. So, if you're thinking of doing like a serial kind of show where you need music to set the tone, you could use something like the song Cloud Flight to talk about the time when, how were you going to get your teenager to brush longer? I thought to myself, I should have enforced this when they were younger. And then you could do things like, oh, what am I going to do for dinner? And get some suspenseful music. Ooh. Do I go? Ooh. Here's one, Shadowland. Ooh, there's that bass sound again. I realize that sounds like a bass, and I will give them that. It's an accurate sound of a bass. Okay, this is Waterworld Conflict. Ooh, now I have to think. This is almost requires some echo as I thought about it. Weird and Scary, that's the name of the song. Because it's weird and scary. Very good for Halloween kind of stuff. All right. I would say this was decent stuff. So we got, let's see, we have 7, we have 10. They got a 7 out of 10. So if I bust out my handy dandy calculator, right, 7 out of 10, that's 70%. So if I take 150 songs and times it by 0.7, that's 105 songs that I would say I would, that were usable. So I take the $37 and divide that by 105, and you get 35 cents a song, which is pretty cheap. You can go to Amazon and do a search for royalty-free music and buy tracks that way. Those are typically 99 cents. So here, I have just gone out and I typed in royalty-free music. These are royalty-free rock music instrumentals. And let's see, big rock groove music. Let's see what this sounds like. That would be a no. Man, that was horror. Here's fun rock music instrumental 1. And as you're seeing, finding the right music, not an easy thing to do because it is so subjective. But I always try again to get out there. And so if somebody asks my opinion, I can say, here's what I thought. And music is a very, very hard one to say, this is good or this is bad, because you might love drums from the 80s. I myself personally do not. So if you're interested in this, again, go out to schoolofpodcasting.com/legal music, and you can pick it up today.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that I've said before. I'm going to try to get this to the point, but I have a new way of describing it. And that is, I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and our sports teams are not good. We have really talented people. We have LeBron James on basketball, and last year we drafted Johnny Manziel, who's this really talented quarterback. We still just can't win anything. And when Johnny Manziel got drafted last year, if you go out again to our website, schoolofpodcasting.com/478, you can see him doing this. He's actually rubbing his fingers together like, that's right, I got drafted. I'm number 1. I'm going to get paid. The bad news is being drafted into the NFL is not the goal of a professional football player. If you ask any pro football player worth their weight, the goal is to win a Super Bowl. Getting drafted into a professional football team, that's just the tool you're going to use to get to the Super Bowl. And basically, Johnny had a reputation out of college as being kind of a party guy, very social guy, and he was much more interested in parties than playbooks. He always seemed a bit unprepared. And yeah, on one hand, it was his first rookie year, so we didn't expect too much out of him. But on the other hand, he was a bit of a train wreck. And in this particular football league, you either carry your weight or you're traded or cut. And I think Johnny realized that there are other quarterbacks that people can listen to that we can use. You'll see where I'm going with that analogy already. And you either bring value to your team or you're gone. And it's the same way with podcasting. And I say this because people are really getting focused on getting into new and noteworthy. Paul Culligan, my friend, had this great line: starting a podcast to hit iTunes new and noteworthy is like launching a business to get into the phone book. And so in the same way that, yes, it's a goal to be in new and noteworthy. It's a milestone, but the true goal is to impact your audience. The true goal is to bring value. And for some people, the goal is to create revenue streams that help supplement your income. I I mean, when I wrote my book, More Podcast Money, the goal was not to get into Amazon. That was the tool I used. But the goal was to help people set realistic financial goals with their podcast and let you know that there are more ways than just sponsorship to make money with your podcast. And Amazon was a tool to help me do that, in the same way that New and Noteworthy is a tool that you can use to help you impact your audience, in the same way for Johnny Manziel. Being drafted on that professional team is the tool you can use to win the Super Bowl. So why all the fixation on New and Noteworthy? Because every time I say that word, I do. Just a little bit. Throw up in my mouth. So the book is called Podcast Launch. It's by a friend of mine, John Lee Dumas. And it's a very unfortunate paragraph. I will read this to you. It says, I really want to stress the point that you have a mere 8 weeks to be featured within the best podcast advertising real estate on the planet. You need to make sure you are taking full advantage of every single one of these 56 days. Now, it's true. You should maximize your impact in New and Noteworthy, but you don't have just a mere 8 weeks. You can be noteworthy anytime. You can only be new once. And the thing I want to make sure of is that, yes, New and Noteworthy will give you more downloads, but it's not going to give you the 10,000 downloads. It's not the built-in audience that you think it is. So keep that in mind. And I now realize where people are getting this from. I needed to talk to John and go, that should read, you can only be considered new for 8 weeks. You can be considered noteworthy anytime. But in the same way now that this year, Johnny has learned from his mistake last year, because it was really, people were talking, we're going to trade this guy because he brought no value. So what did he do? He learned from his mistakes. He went to rehab. This year he's studying game tape. He's studying the playbook. He's much more prepared. For lack of a better phrase, he's a little more mature. And I think he's now got his eye on the true goal, which is, hey, I'm in the NFL. This is great. But that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is the Super Bowl. And with podcasters, the ultimate goal is to bring value and impact your audience and build that relationship. And then once you have that relationship, what you do with it is up to you.
This podcast is part of the Power of Podcasting Network. Find it at powerofpodcasting.com. Changing the world, one download at a time.
Hey, that is going to do it for this show. I hope to get you the recording of my keynote to give you a little behind the scenes. I went to record it, hit record, and as I put my recorder on the chair, I must have pushed a button that hit stop. So the good news is Jeff recorded the video, but it's in a gym. And so the audio sounds like it was recorded in a gym. And so I believe Joe had a direct feed going into his video that should sound better. So I'm going to try to pull the audio from that, but I don't have the video yet. I just got back and the event was yesterday. So that will be coming in the future. And that speech is on the courage and and creativity, and how sometimes it takes a little courage to be creative. But I also go into a whole section on how being like completely original, that's really, really hard. And I give examples in my speech, and that people that you think are really, really original are not. A lot of times they just took something from that person, and put it together. So we'll be talking about that in the future. Now, if you'd like to sign up for the School of Podcasting, don't forget the coupon code is LISTENER, LISTENER, and that will save you off each of your, registration fee, I guess. When you sign up, you'll save at the schoolofpodcasting.com, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And so if you're banging your head trying to figure out what I should do and where I should go, we've got the tools to walk you through every step of the process, and you've got that 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy with it, anytime in the first 30 days, just go, Dave, this isn't for me, and we will cut you loose and give you your money back. So hope to see you on the inside. Thanks so much for listening, and until next week, take care and God bless. Class is dismissed.